And greetings all. Welcome to session 54 of Elohir's Sphere of Power campaign, a conversion of the Desert of Desolation series from the good old days of first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Good gosh, we've been going along for about 2 years now, and we've had a bit of a break here, so hopefully we're not too rusty. But to get us up to speed, we are about to begin a new chapter, so a few things have closed, a few things have opened up, and this session I've decided to title Crypt Mining. A path forward now lies from the oasis to return to the vast expanse of the scorching desert. With the blessing of the Sheik and some significant revelations, the party has agreed to help find the Princess Shadala, perhaps only because it seems her kidnapper is indeed the Ifrit you have unleashed, and there is reason to believe she is somehow important to him. With 3 of the star gems in hand, you have located more than half the stones needed to find Martek's sphere of power, which will supposedly enable you to vanquish Kalatarius once and for all. Information extracted from the captured slavers suggests they were to deliver the princess to the crypt of Badr al-Mozak, where the Ifrit is believed to have taken up residence, at least for now. Known to the locals through legend, Badr al-Mozak was a bandit who stole himself a small kingdom and managed to secure himself his own path to the afterlife. Myth suggests he gained his power when he stole a marvelous gem just prior to claiming his corner of the Desert of Desolation. So you guys have decided that the crypt is probably your next best bet. What I did not document in there is that there was also discussion about the city of Phoenix, which apparently is another place that you need to go to. But you have decided that, or at least at the persuasion of the Sheik and the local followers, that the princess's life is probably not going to wait as long as whatever's been waiting for you in Phoenix. So
that makes sense. The goal, however, is to extract the princess, not to confront the Ifrit, because we don't think we're quite ready. We are suspicious that we really should have all 5 gems before we confront the Ifrit, because
Yep, agreed.
It would give us much more power.
Have we tried attuning to a gem yet?
One of the star
I don't
gems?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I think I brought it up one other time, but I think we should try tuning it one and see what happens.
I will have to admit, I do not recall this being brought up.
Oh, okay.
I don't recall it being brought up either, but it is a good point.
Yes, I would agree with that.
We do not really know what these star gems are supposed to do.
Like maybe Varric looks at the wizard and says, maybe a solid identify on one. We don't got to do what? We have 3, right?
Yes, Kaeli is carrying all 3.
Yeah. I mean, identify, like, yes,
that
we
sounds
know it's
reasonable.
a star gem, but identify might tell us, like, if we can attune to it at the very least, right?
Yeah, basically we want to know, is this something that we use actively, or are they meant
a passive thing?
As like, yeah, a passive thing, physical keys or some such.
Yeah.
Come on. Sorry, I'm trying to strap the ladder back down on the loft.
No problem.
There we go.
I'm trying to make sure I got everything in a row. I'm trying to make this go smoothly. It never does.
Best laid plans.
Okay, there we go. I think I have what I need.
So where are we?
To
crypt. I think we're heading off to the crypt. Are we going back to our nocturnal schedule because we're crossing the desert again?
Yep, I do
We
believe that
should.
is the plan. So let's
Yep.
see.
Yep, I agree.
The current time would be this. So yeah, this was the end of the day, and basically we were giving you a chance to any final supplies. The camels were getting filled up with water and food. And the plan was to leave this evening.
We have the 2 pieces of the ancient map, and I believe we have investigating getting modern maps of the region, and all we can really get is maps of the Sand Voyager's route, because nobody really goes off that route because they're afraid of getting lost or some such.
And in this case, you are more than likely not going to be staying on the trail. So this will bring a
Correct.
new presentation of the desert to you. No sense
Yes.
of guidance.
I would
Be different than any other time.
I would like, so what Kaylee would like to do is, on the understanding that these markers may or may not get moved or buried by the sandstorms and whatever else, Kaylee would like to acquire materials to, or, just pre-made trail markers so that we can attempt to mark our route.
That's not a bad idea.
Does anybody have any knowledge of the stars?
I have been attempting to study the stars of this area. Not necessarily, I don't necessarily know them as well as I know those of our home area, but
I'm not sure, being a wizard, if I have any more knowledge of that or not.
Yeah,
you probably,
trained in
yeah,
religion.
but you probably at least have heard of spells that could help you find your way, even if you don't know any of those spells.
Doesn't the wizard
yourself.
always know? I always know where the sun is, right? Isn't, or what was, I thought, or is that a specific feature? That might have been a specific feature.
There is a feat called Keen Mind, which lets you, you always know which way is north, and you always know when sunrise and sunset are, like how much longer.
And you can remember anything from the last 30 days or something like that.
Yeah. But I don't think anybody in this group currently has that feat. There were other things we needed to take with our ASIs.
A walking chronograph, huh?
Basically.
Yeah, well, that's something that Kaylee is working on becoming, but I don't know if I'm going to take that at 8th level or not, because Skulker is also extremely useful.
Do predicting weather count for anything?
It's not quite what we're looking for. Kaylee has been studying. Kaylee has been studying the star patterns and trying to learn how to recognize desert landmarks as opposed to forest or urban ones.
You are not.
It would matter in the.
Just to be clear, you are not far enough away from the Sword Coast that the stars are that much different. They may rise and fall at different times, and you might see some slightly new ones on the horizon, but it's not like you went on over to the other hemisphere.
But it's close. So it's definitely close enough that I still can use the stars to figure out which way is north.
Yes.
Pinpoint this world's northern star.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's not a different world. It's just slightly shifted from what you guys are used to. So it was a little, and it wasn't even really disorienting. It was only to like people like Kaylee that, paid attention to those kind of things. So like, this looks off. It's not like constellations were suddenly missing.
Okay.
Now, one thing I will point out also.
Yeah.
One thing that I will point out also is that is a direct result of events that the party has inspired. is that after your events dealing with the slavers and the Sand Voyagers Guild and finding Granick, at this point, the River Athos has had a chance to be restored.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes.
It has at
We
least
like this
reached the
plan.
oasis and presumably to some point beyond. But water has returned to the desert.
Oh, yes. And there is definitely goodwill towards us for that when we are recognized as being the people who released the river.
Yep. The
But
Martech's prophesized ones seem to be the right ones. There's a lot of faith that you guys are going to deal with the Ifrit who's been burning up the camps. And yeah, at this point, most of the region also knows about Kalatari. They may not know him by name. Most educated people know that his return was foretold, so it's not like that it was entirely unexpected. And of course, but there's enough myth and legend that a good portion of the populace knows that. Oh yeah, there were people that were sent to come help us with him. So now, knowing that you were necessarily that group, it will vary from place to place, person to person. However, knowledge of, for lack of the better word, the chosen ones is not rampant, but widespread. That should give you a good sense of
okay.
the significance to your reputation this having.
I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but the river is kind of like a road so far. Because if you remember correctly, a lot of the destinations we've been to has all been along the riverbed. We've been following,
Which is not surprising.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising. In a desert area, you are going to find paths will follow the water, and the settlements will follow the water. Whether that's an above-ground river or an underground river, or that occasionally pops upward, or just the series of oases that allow you to refresh your waters.
And I need to remind myself of, I'm sorry, give me a moment. I got to remember what our travel time is, how long it's going to take you to get across the grid here.
That is not something I
Nope, that's
have.
mechanic. There we go. I actually got the article. Have it flagged in my
Oh, good.
mind. Okay, so let's see. Traveling through the desert, mounts, terrain types, movement rates. There we go. I even have a chart for it. God, I love it when I'm prepared. All right, so we are all mounted. You are bringing camels, correct?
Yes.
Not camels. Camels.
Camels, one riding camel for each of us who stay in our humanoid forms the majority of the time. And
we've established that Miz in his panther form can at least keep up, if not go faster, but not for longer periods.
Yeah. And then we have one or two or maybe more pack camels to help share the burden. But we keep some supplies on our riding camels with us so that if our pack animals are lost, we're not completely without supplies.
Yeah, the Goliaths can't ride camels. So we're just
not
walking.
really.
Correct. We have to walk. We
Yeah,
use
our
ours
camels
for
are just
supplies.
extra pack. Yep.
But we have a riding camel for you. Whether
More
you
for
ride on it or
companionship
not.
than anything. We're traveling, like talking to our camels and passing the
I
time.
do believe my camel just spit on my boots. It's Stark. We got our monocles
Nothing
on.
wrong with talking to your animals. The problem comes when you know they're not supposed to talk back and they start talking back anyway. Then you might have a problem.
I mean, the druid has that problem all the time.
I was gonna say we usually just go through the druid for a translation.
Except you have
Yeah.
a druid that can't talk to animals.
Yes.
No?
Yeah, but we keep forgetting that.
Hey, you've got a ranger who can sort of talk to animals.
It helps.
Almost.
And all the animals talk
Bark just
with
thinks he can.
me.
But we're still not exactly sure what to call that ranger.
What I
The ranger that acts like another class.
oh gotcha.
Yeah. But don't call her by that other class name, because if you do, you might get an arrow right through your belly or your back or maybe the back of your skull.
Well, then that sounds more like the a class that hasn't existed since first edition.
She finds that other term being used in reference to herself extremely offensive.
All right, so we have camels for everyone. You will be riding at mounted speed. You will be following at least at this point what appears to be the Sand Voyagers track paralleling the what is no longer the riverbed, but actually the river itself. And that being said, there's a few places where the Sand Voyagers track actually treaded into the riverbed itself, which is now with flowing water. So overall, there's going to be a slight slowdown, but for the most part, you're going to be able to travel through at a reasonable speed. Looks like it's going to take about 4 hours for you to cross each hex in the sphere.
So we can cross what, 2 or 3 hexes in a day?
Well, as I pointed out, is that Mizram can keep up with you in terms of speed, but he doesn't have the endurance of the camels. So basically, 8 hours is about
Miz-
all you're going to get at a nominal speed.
Miz can ride my camel.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what we
and
had to do
the rest
before.
of us are walking though, right?
No, we're riding.
Oh, we're riding. Oh, okay. For some reason, I
Yeah.
have that backwards.
I think you all forget that I can turn myself into a normal house cat, so I could just ride in one of your laps while you fuss me.
And could you turn into something that can fly so you can like go up and be Overwatch?
Oh, I can't remember if I reached that point. Let me pick up
Like
my
an
plate
like
and
an
put
owl or something that you could see
Or-
really
or
good
a
at
crow.
night.
I was gonna say I think
We're-
that's
since
a
we're
level
traveling at
limit.
night, an owl would be pretty much ideal. I mean, I need to resummon mine, so next time we stop, I'll have to go through and do that.
So, Miz, you're going to stay as a cat, or
He's
you have
gonna house catify
He's looking
himself.
up his. He's gonna look. He said he was gonna look up his level to see if he could fly yet.
Okay.
Yep, I'm just having a look now, and oh damn it, I'm
Next level, right?
I'm 1 level short at the moment.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Something to look forward to.
Then you can all call me Flappy Cat.
Happy cat. A winged furball.
Oh yeah, smelly cat. Smelly cat, smelly cat. All right. So
Rolling in the open today.
while he looks at that, at least in the first 8 hours, you're going to be able to make it to that point. Unmolested, uninterrupted, and without anything unusual. Let's see.
Okay.
Without anything unusual happening. Now let's see if I can
Alrighty.
remember how to expose more of the map.
And then the bottom drops out.
Are you referring to my volume?
No, I'm referring to a song and I'm referring to our situation.
Okay. Sorry.
I am now inside and attempting to convince the computer to cooperate. Come on.
While you're figuring that out, I found the most magical thing as a person who runs 3 computers in any given day. Logitech has a mouse and keyboard that will control all 3 computers at a push of a button.
Ooh.
You can use you can
man.
connect via Bluetooth to all of them, or you can use the little adapter that comes with it, plug that into one. And then there's just a button on the keyboard and the mouse, and you can switch between 1, 2, and 3. And just like that, I got rid of the huge mass of mice and keyboards on my desk. It's just so awesome.
God, I remember the
awesome.
days of discovering the KVM switch.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I started out looking at. And then I realized I was like, I need to get a mouse because I run Apple for 2 of my computers, and I have one of the old Apple wireless mouses, and it started cutting out, shutting itself down like every 30 seconds. And there's nothing more annoying than having the mouse disappear right in the middle, you know? And so I'm like, gotta get a new one. So I just accidentally ordered this one that controls 3 different computers. And it was like Christmas morning when I discovered it. I connected, I'm like, oh, what's that 1, 2, and 3 button mean? So yes.
Yeah.
I was very excited. And the whole rest of the family is looking at me like I'm insane because I'm excited over a mouse. But you know.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being excited over a mouse.
Oh, it just because right now I've been shifting keyboards. I have 3 keyboards and I shift between all of them. And so now being able to go down to 1, it's just so awesome.
I can't play right now, Benji. You can stay down here, but I can't play right now, you silly puppy. Puppy wants to play.
Oh, of course.
And it's going to be a little noisy in the background here because I've got a 6-year-old who's playing Minecraft on the Xbox with his friend Oliver, and they're both connected via FaceTime on tablets. So he's got the tablet pointed at the screen so they can talk. So that's right on the other side of this door. And then my 9-year-old or my 10-year-old just had invited 3 of her friends over. So now there's 4 girls downstairs, you know, being loud 10-year-old girls, having fun down there. And so so it's a little bit of pandemonium here today. So I apologize for the background noise you will probably hear.
That is an understatement.
It's all just another step into the metaverse, dude.
Did you see that new Quest headset? Oh my goodness. The Quest Pro?
I have not seen it. I refuse to do my VR with Facebook. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Well, you use a Meta account, not a Facebook account, but
still,
they just
tell me it's not
ran
connected
it.
and they're not collecting every bit of biometric information they possibly can ascertain.
Google's already doing that.
I'm sure they are.
You know.
Yeah, I know,
absolutely.
but I feel a lot more comfortable with certain other vendors than just saying, yeah, sure, go ahead, measure my my body temperature and my pulse rate, and go ahead and make inferences on my aptitudes, abilities, preferences.
And the new Quest Pro is even more than that. It has sensors to read your facial expression. It can tell if you're smiling, if you're smirking, if you're it's augmented reality instead of just virtual reality. It will do virtual reality, but it's augmented reality. That's why it's $1,500. Is that it actually puts your stuff in the room, and it's incredibly cool. And also it'll do the whole knows when you're talking and when you're not, and you make it or you smirk to the side or whatever, and it mimics all that. It watches your eyeballs and knows where you're looking on the screen. And of course, Facebook is doing it for targeted ads, which is the whole reason not to get it. But the whole technology is just, wow, we are moving into such a cool time. That's for sure. Because there's lots of people doing that.
Tell me that Zuckerberg's not trying to make the Oasis.
Oh yeah. Oh, he said he is. That's exactly what he's trying to do. But
he's not the person I want in charge of it. That's for damn sure.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% there. but it's like I have that Arcana app that I posted a few images of some stuff I've been building on that, which is augmented reality via phones. Two of the people in there have gotten different augmented reality glasses that they are playing with, that are all just Kickstarters and new stuff that's just coming out, and it works with those. And the company that does Arcana has already said that when Apple releases their augmented reality glasses, they're going to automatically work with them, and that they want to work with all the new Quest, Meta Quest ones. They want it to work with Windows. They want it to work with Steam, so you can use the Steam VR headsets. It's like, wow, it's just so cool. So many fun toys coming out.
My son and I were actually having a bit of a talk about this, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but we were kind of commenting that too many of us are still, getting nauseous and whatnot, spending too much time in virtual reality, and the headsets are definitely way too heavy for extended use still. And I pointed out it's probably just going to be a matter of learned evolution. And my son pointed out that, that's not going to happen that quickly. And I'm like, it doesn't have to happen that quickly. Just going to take a generation or two for us to start putting these headsets on our kids when they're 3 or 4 years old, and they're going to be conditioned to it the same way that old people can't set the clock on their VCRs, but young people are able to broadcast podcasts with maybe a half hour of training.
But that's just it. The new Quest Pro, the front part of it is a third the thickness and like half the weight that the old one. So as the technology improves, it's getting better and better.
Yep. And as it becomes cheaper and more prevalent, the younger kids will be able to access it. It won't be, a high-end toy. No, don't let the kids play with it. It's like, no, here, let the kids try it. And once they start getting used to it at a young age, it's just not going to be a big deal for them later on. Kind of like the same.
And as you're willing to sell more and more of as you're willing to give more and more of your biometrics to whichever company you choose to use their device from,
Yep. Like I said, just as they've learned not to give a shit about their privacy, unfortunately.
Yep. Apple's already got my heartbeat and all that stuff from my Apple Watch. So,
Yeah. And how many people are doing the same thing with Fitbit or whoever else? And then I noticed you didn't mention Microsoft's HoloLens, but I have to say that it's not accessible. It's ridiculously expensive, but it is really impressive, as are most of Microsoft's projects. But
yeah, it absolutely is. It was honestly, if it had been available for sale at a reasonable price, I probably would have picked one up. But it just never became readily available. It was always in development. Mm-hmm. And the military guys that have been using it basically said it makes them nauseous, and they don't want to use it because they're afraid it'll get them killed on the battlefield because they'll be nauseous.
Yep. So it's going to be a matter of training the next generation. All right. Anyway, back to fantasy zone. And of course, now I'm going to get a coffee fit. Wait, give me a second.
So we travel 8 hours at night, and so then we get to our location when the sun is just coming up, right?
Correct.
Actually, no, it'd be about 3 o'clock in the morning right now. And the question outstanding is, Ms., do you have an alternate form, or if you were a cat?
Yeah, I got an ultimate form. I just need someone to donate a sleeve for me to go into. I can turn into a weasel.
Weasels don't fly.
No,
they don't.
That depends how hard.
Unless you have a catapult.
I was going to say it depends how hard you throw them.
It.
Let the fighter throw them. It'll be good.
Well, no, I've got one better. A weasel is tiny. All you got to do is get Alex to tie me to the end of an arrow, and she can fire me.
Oh God, that sounds like fun.
Solid.
Hey, you know what? I can conjure up my familiar, which can be an owl, and that could probably lift you.
All right, Ms. Ms., are you forgetting about the end of that action? Landing.
Let's not think that far ahead. Let's just go strap into an arrow.
It's not the flight; it's the sudden stop.
Yeah.
The sudden stop, or reaching a maximum altitude and then free falling.
Well, you got to remember, weasel.
A little weasel parachute.
For the sake of science, Smith, just do it.
Well, you got to remember that weasel do eat birds, and birds do take off in the air while the weasel's still clinging to them. Like,
why do I suddenly have images of Crash and Eddie?
Just imagine that tail fluttering in the wind as it's flying.
Well, let's admit that would give him some sense of control while he's in the air. Let's go that way.
Yeah.
Okay, since it is the druid who suggested it and it is his character, we now apparently have flying weasels.
Yes.
I will
Funny,
presume
haha.
I will presume we are not in constant weasel fire mode. So I will wait until you mention that. Yes, we are shooting up the weasel for a look. Up goes the weasel.
And if we are stopping, I can cast the dome. But if we're going to keep going until sunrise, then you know, with the weasel on a shoulder or whatever.
And
That works too.
so I presume you're riding on KOE's shoulder. Is that correct?
Whoever wants to volunteer.
Not Kaoli.
Now,
Oh,
can
come
I?
on.
Well, I presume whoever is going to be launching him is going to be the host.
I mean, one of the brothers can probably chuck him pretty far.
And my
Yeah.
question,
Launching
as this
Launching
goes
him
on,
was your guys' idea.
yeah. My question is, this is
I'm
going
sorry.
on.
I presume that the best sharpshooter was going to be the one doing so, but my error.
While we're riding on the camels, can I concentrate enough to summon my owl, or do we have to be stopped for that? I'm not sure how that would work
If
out.
you were in a smooth moving carriage, I might be willing to consider it, but
Okay.
I think we can all agree that riding on camelback requires a certain amount of concentration to keep from being bounced around.
Just
The other
going
question-
ass over
the
tea
other-
kettle over the front.
The
I'm not saying
the
that
other
you're ignorant
question-
to everything else, but I think it does preempt something that would require dedicated concentration.
The other question is, can I summon the owl while I am holding the dome? I think because once the dome is cast, I just have to stay inside it, and I can
yes.
concentrate on
That's
everything.
the
Correct.
question. If the dome requires concentration, then no. If it does not require concentration, then yes, you can summon.
Okay, very good.
I
I will
also have a
check that
question.
on my own. So I'm assuming we're keeping going then?
Yes, we have at least another 4 hours of travel. And that works out
Awesome.
And that works out rather nicely because as the sun comes up, which will be about 7 o'clock in the morning in this case.
Just question. Would it be okay for me to climb onto Jim Familiar back and fly? And if so, am I allowed to have the theme tune for Neverending Story playing while doing so?
I'd allow it. I have a question though about throwing the weasel. Could I smite if I hit with the weasel?
I think that'd be up to the weasel, and depending on what it is.
The weasel, the weasel does not count as a weapon, and I believe
That's
it has
true.
to be a weapon strike.
It has to be melee. It can't be ranged, I believe.
I don't know. I would tend to argue, well, if you've ever had somebody like throw a cat at you, I think damn well that cat never becomes a weapon at some point.
The cat has a built-in smite.
Yes. Weasel, ferret, anything with claws, airborne, coming at you at a high rate of speed should be classified as some kind of weapon.
Yeah. I mean, if he turned into a cat, I could swing him by, like a panther, I could swing him by his legs, because, yeah, when you hit a creature with a melee weapon.
I mean, I would prefer the wizard to just cast fly on me. So that would be nicer.
solid. Oh, you'd look like a little Falco.
I certainly would.
I ended up getting a phone call.
And
What did I miss? Did we launch the
just
squirrel?
for the record, the dome is a ritual, but not concentration.
Okay, so once it's cast, you don't need to worry about the concentration. So what's the
Exactly.
casting time on the owl? Are you doing
10
that as
minutes.
a ritual?
Hang on a sec. I'm looking. I gotta get the other window out of the way. Find familiar. It is 1 hour.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah, wow. I have the theme song of Never Ending Story stuck in my head now.
Nice.
Joys of being an ex-DJ. I don't get songs stuck in my head.
Nice. That's I feel like that's a level of something that's like when somebody says they don't have an inner monologue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of crazy, man.
Well, and it depends on your musicality too. I mean, I listen to everything from classical to punk. And one morning on
Sure.
I started the morning with Mozart and finished off with Dirty Rotten Imbeciles 3 hours later and played everything in between.
Well, I asked a coworker, I was singing something. I was humming something, and he's like, "What are you humming?" I'm like, "Whatever, blah blah blah." He goes, "Why are you humming that?" I said, "Because it's the song that's in my head." And I said, "Don't you like have music in your head all the time?" He goes, "No, that would drive me nuts." I said, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That would drive me nuts." I said, "Dude, there is never like my brain is constantly the background music at the grocery store."
Oh,
Yeah.
He goes,
Yeah.
"Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, that's not, you don't have that?" No, that would drive me crazy. I was
That's one of the things
flabbergasted. I cannot fathom that idea.
one of the things I love the most about my job is that I can wear headphones 90% of the time.
Nice.
That is nice. That is nice.
Yeah.
Working
crazy.
remotely, I have my speakers set up right here. So when I'm not actively in a meeting, I always have something playing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm constantly listening to music pretty much all day.
Well, I mean,
And I've
I'm not
just-
listening. I just constantly have a song running,
Mhm.
whatever's in my head.
I've also
Yeah.
discovered that if I keep my speakers down low enough, I can run them during meetings too, and nobody can hear them.
Nothing wrong with that
Nice.
either.
All right, so moving along, you travel for basically about 12 hours overnight without any unusual events occurring. As the sun rises, you find yourself actually reaching a point on the river where it splits up. And in this case, contrary to what you would normally expect, this river does not merge, it splits. So the flow is coming from east to west, and at this point, part of it branches and heads south, and another part of it branches and heads to the north.
Interesting.
And no indicators or anything.
Indicators of
Landscape indicators, road signs. Anything.
well, you're still on the Sand Voyagers Trail, so you can still see the markers that are that are laid out about, what is it, every 5 miles or so, but are highly visible, and especially in the when the sun is on the horizon, because they glint like bright jewels or stars from across the horizon. So you can see them relatively easy about every 5 miles apart in the desert sand. So you can still see those. You can still see where it crosses over the river a little north of here. So you would have to trek across the river. But any way you look at it, you're probably going to have to cross the river.
I would bring up to the party, I would ask, like, are we comparing these to the maps that we have?
Yes.
We have okay, because like we're traveling from the top of the map we found in the scroll case in the library beneath the obelisk, correct?
No, we're coming up from the bottom.
Coming up from the bottom. Okay.
Yes, we are. The Oasis of the Sacred Palm or the Sacred Pool is at the very top of the map that we got when we first arrived in the desert.
I'm sharing them on Zoom.
And that connects to the bottom of the map that we found in the scroll case.
Okay.
Somebody messed up on the drawing when the images were being prepared for publishing. The shape of the bottom connects, but the river doesn't line up.
Yes.
But that's a meta issue, and they actually do line up properly.
That's cool. So do we think we're at that point where the river splits and goes down towards those mosque looking shapes? Okay.
Yes, that is Kaylee's guess.
Yep.
Because she has she's of the opinion that this map is not to scale.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
it is more of a representative drawing than it is a cartographer's map.
So do we know what the writing says underneath those buildings where the branch goes to the south?
We translated it before. I
It's
don't
just-
remember.
Oh, Castle
We
City
translated it.
marker.
Yeah, we translated it somewhere. Did we pop it in here? No.
Hey, while you guys are discussing this, I'm going to take a quick break so that we don't have to take a large break. I just gotta walk around for a few minutes. So give me about 5 minutes. You guys go ahead and talk. Basically, this is a good time. This is camp talk because you are setting camp right. I presume you're setting camp right by the riverbank.
Yes. Yeah.
You have a few hours before you'll have a bit of an encounter, which shouldn't change anything. I will forewarn you, it's basically going to be a goat herder and a small goat flock of goats that you'll see.
And Keith, I don't know if you noticed, but you're rolling your encounter things in the open, just so you know. You're not rolling them in a tower.
Interesting.
I was wondering about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to
that's-
check your
that-
setting.
That's a new thing. They've now changed the visibility on them. So yes, okay, I do see them. Ah, ha, ha.
Yeah, anything that shows up in your chat box with the eye with the cross through it is hidden. Anything that doesn't have that symbol, we can also see.
You're right. I should have been looking for that. And yeah,
I'm always paying attention to that.
Yeah, well, that seems to be new since we've played, or at least since the last time I've used the tables. But yeah, the visibility marker on the table isn't exactly very visible.
Yeah,
Right.
you
And it
can
can,
also,
you know, and you can change it, but
Yeah, I noticed I
Yeah.
could change it because I don't remember seeing that button before, but it was obvious once she brought that up.
once you, yeah, they've been adding new functionality, and I think they added some new functionality since we last played, and there's another major update in the test channel right now.
and just for
I've gotta bring
everybody's information, the HUD only takes a minute to cast. So I'll do that and then I start on Find Familiar.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
So you will be able to cast both of
You
those
guys know my wife
without
called.
interruption. I'm just gonna keep rolling this.
Your
one.
wife called, Dan?
Yeah, my wife called and my plans have changed for the day. I'm gonna have to ride my motorcycle to my friend's daughter's competition. I was gonna ride passenger seat and still play, and her photography session is taking longer than intended. So now I have to ride my bike for 40 minutes. But once I get there, I'll be back on and I'll log in on my son's laptop and I'll be there. I'll be back in.
Right up, right safe.
So I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to. Well, I mean, it's gonna be 20 minutes. I'm not leaving for another 20 minutes, but
Oh.
just as a heads up.
Okay.
Okay, good
Okay.
to know. Good to know. All right, so I do gotta take care of something quick.
Yeah.
Your camp there, you're gonna see a group of a goat herder and a small flock of goats that will come up from the southwest branch. But you guys have an hour to talk about your plans, or actually probably about 3 hours to talk about your plans. I will be back in 5 minutes.
Cool.
Okay.
I think we should
So-
buy a goat and eat it.
So I keep wanting to say that the label on this castle drawing is Mendicat, but I don't think that's right.
Okay.
Maddie, can we find another creature that we could try to make us Spigotin?
Mm.
Kind of like a
We would need
turducken,
some-
but
Oh, like spider haggis.
right. Yeah.
Nice.
So good. We got everybody else thinking about it.
I'm just trying to imagine. Do I have the ability to wrestle a goat in weasel form?
No, you could kind of come at it like Honey Badger.
Yeah.
Translation on that. A.
To answer your question in the message, Dan, it's been going good. I have a pretty chill job, but I wish I can't wait till I sign my contract with the company. That's all.
Oh, what are you still kind of temporary or?
I'm still, so they usually wait until after like 120 days to have the contract conversation and go salary. Okay. And some people are like, oh, you're going to hate that. And I'm like, no, because if they put me at 45 hours plus my drive time, you know what I mean? So I still get paid for my drive and then my salary. It'll be nice because I field so many fucking phone calls when I'm home and not on the clock that I don't get paid for. And I'm like, how do we deal with this, guys? Because otherwise I'm just going to stop answering my phone when I'm not clocked in. And I can't do that as a person. Like, I have to do my job. That's my job. This is support my stores. So I have to answer my phone. You know what I mean? And like, but I want my money.
So what I do in that case, because I'm on call too, I get calls at 3 a.m. I set myself and get myself situated where I work a 40-hour work week, but my contract says that I work 45. So I work my 40, and then I give my 5. And then if I have a week where I really have to knuckle down and do spreadsheets or something like that, and I end up working 50, it's going to balance out to 45 because I'm not always getting calls after hours. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I kind of justify it to myself that I do the standard 40 and then accept the extra calls for the 5.
Yep. That's kind of my plan. But right now it's like, dude, I've had to close a store, and I talked to the dude who brought me into the company, and there is a store closing procedure, and we kind of just said, fuck it. And I've been with the company like 100 days. So I don't know everything. I got a month of training, and then the dude left.
Right.
And the company was like, here's a car. Have fun, bud. Sweet. I describe it like this. When they brought me in, they're like, okay, we're going to give you this fucking cool fire truck to put out all these fires. It's going to be great. You're going to do great. And then when I showed up, I was in flip-flops and shorts, and they handed me like a Dollar Tree Super Soaker and said, you got this, bro. And like every time I put one fire out, 5 more popped up in 3 other stores. Like, and I'm like, guys, I need like 2 other people to help contain this clusterfuck that you let this region turn into.
Right.
But it's a slow process too, going in and just fucking firing people and bringing new people in too. So like that's a process.
Well, also make sure there are market tools on the internet. I haven't looked at them myself, but I know they're there. That will help you find out what your job goes for in your market. And they're going to use the same tools to talk to you about your salary. So don't undercut yourself. I know you were totally getting undercut at GNC. So start thinking bigger numbers.
Well, no, because that's absolutely, that's what the dude.
Well, did I lose you?
Yeah, that was
Is
a weird
anybody-
sound. Sounded like something happened.
Okay, but you're there. Matt's just gone. I didn't know if it was my connection or his.
Nope, I think it was him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jim, Matt was making, as a manager at GNC, he was making less than what McDonald's pays now. There he is.
No, dude, my guy Noah, that I hired in Victor, and then he helped me close that store and went to another store, and he was still working there when I came back.
GNC Victor or Smoker's
Yep.
Choice Victor?
GNC.
Okay.
He is actually was offered the manager position at the Victor GNC at 19.
Oh my dude, were you ticked?
Well, the funny thing is, so when I heard that Missy was in the Henrietta GNC that just opened, and I was in Henrietta too, so I went over there, and I was a complete cunt. So when Noah accepted the job, Missy was like, okay, you're gonna get this, this, and this, and this comes with one condition. And Noah was like, sure, what's that? And she said, you can never hire Matt Ellis.
Are you
Under any
serious?
circumstances. And bro, I'm totally gonna open and close the store for him on Sundays.
Are you seriously?
Yes, I was totally like, bro, I need a part-time job. As soon as he said that, I was like, I think I need to work your Sundays for you, man.
And you're gonna do it?
I would totally do it, bro. Yep.
Oh, you would, but you're not really gonna do it. But you're not like already lined up yet.
No, because the store's not open yet. So once he's in and the store's open, fuck yeah, I am, dude. Fuck yeah. Because if I haven't got my contract, I want to get back in the GNC because I want to know what they'd offer me to take Missy's job. Because
oh man,
what I said to her when I went into the store, she was like, "Oh, so you don't like your job?" Because I did try getting it back when I was at Armor, right?
Oh yeah.
And she went and told people that I was begging for my job back. I only asked
Are
once.
you serious?
Yeah. So she's like, "Oh, you don't like your job?" And I was like, No, I didn't. I love my job now. Oh, what are you doing? I'm doing the same thing you do, just 1,000 times better.
Oh,
And
dude,
she was
guys,
like,
she
"Oh,
was the worst. Just let me tell you. From the stories Matt would say, like, Matt worked
It was
hard on
bad.
his store, but she would never give him his credit where credit was due.
Hate people like that.
Oh,
Okay, folks, I'm back.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm still working on a proper translation of that name. I thought somebody had put a translated
Yeah, I
image
tried finding
in
it too,
Ancient
and
Inscriptions, but I couldn't find it.
yeah,
So
which
this is what I
didn't
have.
realize we were doing a. I didn't realize we were doing a translation. It sucks. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
there was
we're doing a
the
translation.
most recent map from the scroll.
Yeah.
In the underneath the obelisk.
It's probably because I
There's
was
a-
on the other line with my wife.
Yeah. There's a letter that I can't figure out. And then the last letter I think is a T, but I'm not quite sure.
Oh yeah, I had that.
I could have sworn you posted it.
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn you
At some
posted
point.
it in Discord, but I can't find it.
Yeah, I had posted it in there, but you had already translated it. I looked a little bit ways back, and you had it too. That's what it is, though. It's a name of something, and that's why we can't get it because it's not a word; it's a name.
Right, but there's just a letter that I don't recognize at all, and I can't find it in any of our previous.
What was that? All right. Anyway, I'll kind of search back too. And Keith, you can take over unless we need the name.
I want I want the name as a brain fart. Yeah, I want the name. Ah, there it is. Okay, I had previously determined that it was probably an N.
Mendenat.
Yeah, it's in campaign play, not ancient inscriptions.
Gotcha.
That's why I couldn't find it.
Oh yeah.
So the wizard could fly up as an eagle or as the owl and maybe see some of those broken obelisks.
It's a
Potentially.
familiar owl though, right? He can't, but
Yep.
I
In
can't
an
remember
hour.
what the rules are.
In an hour, I can only go up like I think it's 100 feet. Otherwise, I lose connection to the owl.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Yep.
All right. So hour passes, you're able to summon your new owl.
What's his name?
And with 100 feet visibility, you get a little more view of the land, which I've just expanded out. Doesn't really tell you too much at this point, unfortunately. Switch back over to the.
Ah, bummer.
Do we want to go away from the Sand Voyagers shit and follow the river to the south?
We knew that we would have to eventually.
Yep. And we don't really know what this place to the south is, but we're looking for a crypt.
Mm-hmm.
I say we follow the river south.
We've gone the wrong direction if we're looking for the crypt.
Oh, we know where the crypt is?
According to the map drawing, it is
Oh, I see.
east and slightly south of the oasis.
Yes.
We went north.
Yep.
West.
Yep.
West, not east.
West,
Mhm.
right. I know my directions. Well, Kayla knows her directions. Alex doesn't always get her directions correct.
Yeah, I would say we go to the south in hopes of finding another star gem.
Follow this south branch of the river.
Yeah. But once the wizard's done casting his owl, can we pass through him to maybe identify a star gem? See if it's attunable?
Stop.
We could attempt that.
Stuff loud. Sorry.
That's crazy loud, whatever you said.
Yeah, not sure if it's intending to come through like that, Dan.
I switched Bluetooth.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we're definitely hearing you.
Yeah.
Loud enough, not clear enough, but loud enough.
Yes.
And this is the Bluetooth it's one that hangs on your collar. So I can tuck this underneath my hoodie or my shirt and still be heard on my motorcycle.
Oh, nice.
Blocks the wind. So I'll still be present. I'll just be muted most of the time unless I'm needed. And when I get there, is when I'll connect the laptop.
Just listening in at this point.
Sweet.
All right. So let's see. Ding, 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 ding. All right. So the pro's been summoned. Do you guys want to try the attunement?
I think we wanted to see if
identify would work.
If the wizard could identify, learn anything by casting identify on the one of the star gems, and just see if you can learn anything.
All right, so do you have identify memorized, or you're casting it as a ritual?
It'll have to be as a ritual.
Okay. So you're casting the identify, Redreth is on which
Has an hour passed because I was casting my familiar first.
Yeah, like I said, the owl is up. That's why you're able to see
Okay.
the larger area on the
Awesome.
map.
Very good. Cool. Okay. So yeah.
So yeah, he was
I
able
will
to
cast
fly
that as a-
around. He also gave you advance notice that the goat herder was coming up the river from the southwest. And identify is an area spell, right? So it's not like you're casting it. Oh, I guess you have your supply of owl feathers.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Do you have the pearl?
Uh-oh.
I believe.
That's a
believe he
good
does.
question. Let me look.
I thought you
Yep,
did.
I have a pearl.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not consumed. So
Yep, I do have
So
a
I'll just use my spell conjure pearl and we're all set.
All right, so you have the pearl, you have plenty of owl feathers. It doesn't say either is consumed, so Alex is right. We don't really have to worry about you keeping track of that. You cast identify. Let's see. Choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting. If it isn't okay, so which gem are you doing this on?
whichever one KO hands me.
I don't know. Pick one.
The one
I don't think
from
it matters much.
the first one we got.
I think the first one we got.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so that's going to be up. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. I know you have 3 of them, but I only see 2 of them in.
Because you haven't made an item in Fantasy Grounds for the third one.
Oh.
You keep meaning to do that, and you haven't yet.
God dang it. I do have a picture for it, though, don't I?
I think so.
Yes. Okay, so let's get that thing made then, before I forget about it. Shouldn't take me too long. Let's see. Oh no, I do have it in here. I just haven't put it in. Let's see.
Oh, you just haven't added it to my inventory sheet. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's easy enough to do. And I do believe we have identified it. So, okay, it is. There's now 1 in the party inventory for you to grab.
Okay.
All right, so you have the 3 star gems. Kaylee's got them all. Which one are you handing him?
The first one, the Star of Mopilar.
Okay. All right, so identify It is a magic item or some other magic imbued object. You learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. And if the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. All right. So, that being said, you will be disappointed to learn that there is only an enchantment spell cast upon it. It does not require attunement. It does not have any special powers, other than obviously for the purpose for which it was intended.
Okay.
Good to know. Well, now we know.
So, for lack of a better
Yep,
description,
now we know.
it is definitely a or part of a key.
Solid. Knowing is half the battle.
Very good. Well, then we have the owl practice carrying the weasel. See how that works.
Let's see. So you can still leave your owl with instructions even if you don't have a mental link with it. So you could still tell it to go up, carry the weasel, go up a certain height, and come back down. But I don't believe Mizram would be able to give it any directions. Is that correct?
Sound about right?
Unless, Ms., you figured out some way to communicate with Redreth's familiar?
The owl definitely doesn't speak weasel, so.
But the weasel could potentially speak owl, if not now, perhaps in the future.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So something worth considering, but for now, it seems like it's just going to be limited flights. But for the moment, basically, you've got about a 10-mile visibility of where you are. I think that probably covers what the eyesight of either would be able to see.
Okay.
And you go through pretty much most of the day, at least especially the hottest part of the day. Sun starts, I don't want to say going down, the light isn't diminishing, but the heat definitely is. So, it's probably about an hour or two before dusk when you notice a lone humanoid figure cloaked in white robes and a small herd of goats shortly behind this person coming up the river. And for those who notice her and start paying attention, you can hear her. You hear that it's a her, and you hear her making goat calling sounds.
Okay.
Now you guys are up in the dome. You guys are up in the dome, right? Or Redrith has the dome up.
Yeah.
So she has no visibility of anyone being there. Oh, no,
I have the dome
the
up.
camels
They
are on
all
the
had-
outside. The camels are on the outside of the dome.
They all had to be inside the dome when I cast it, or they would not have been able to get in. But then once it's cast, they can go in and out freely as much as they want. I'm just the one who has to stay inside.
Right.
So
But
it's up to them.
But I'm curious as to what's seen, and the camels are not inside the dome, are they?
I don't think they fit.
They do not fit.
Okay, so she would still see the camels sitting on the hill, even if she wouldn't see in the encampment. And that being said, yeah, she's not afraid of camels, so she's going to go investigate, and is apparently heading in your direction. She's more focused on looking around and calling for goats, but as she's moving up the river, she's definitely heading towards where your camels are.
Okay.
Vark would have been on watch while all this was going on, just making sure the wizard and everybody was safe. Once the dome was set up, he would have stepped out, just would be on watch initially for the night. So he'd be sitting around on a rock near the camels at the very least.
So we've had our long rest, correct?
Not yet.
Yeah, I believe you have. Yeah, you've had.
Okay.
Shall I trigger a long rest?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's almost dusk, which means we stopped to make camp in the morning because we're traveling at night.
Correct.
And so that is when we are being approached by the goat herd. As we're thinking about getting up for the night.
Oh, then yeah, Varg would definitely be near the camels. Like I said, just keeping guard.
All right, so the big question basically is how close are you going to allow her to approach the camels before one or more of you reveal yourselves by stepping out of the dome?
And Keith, just so you know, since I needed to stay in the dome that whole time, and I didn't have anything else to do, I cast a fireball into the ring and a chromatic orb into the ring before my spell slots reset. So
into the ring?
The ring of spell storing.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Because I have to cast them into it, so I have them available for use later. So
and how many can it hold again?
It can hold a total of 5 spell slots worth of spells. So chromatic orb is first level. There's still a shield that hasn't been used yet in there. That's also a first level. And then fireball is 3rd level. So That's a total of 5. So.
All right. Good planning.
I should really cast Find Familiar in there so I can resummon my familiar if it ever gets killed. I'll have to think about that for the future.
Yeah, Kayla is probably outside. It's a little cramped in the dome.
Redruth's enjoying the air conditioning.
Well,
Varg would only let the goat herder maybe get within 30 feet before he stood up. And
now you realize that unless you're lying down behind a dune, it's going to be pretty hard to keep yourself concealed outside the dome, right, Alex?
Yes.
Testing, audibility.
It works.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's 55 miles per hour, people. How's it sound?
All right.
How clear is it?
So Kayla is Kayla making herself noticeable, staying out of sight, or purposely trying to evade being noticed?
She's mostly, staying out of sight, not making herself obvious. She's not like trying to hide, but some base level of stealth is kind of her normal mode of operation. So trying to make herself not necessarily hidden, but certainly unobtrusive.
Okay. Now, just to point out, for a point of clarification, I don't think anyone would need an insight, or at least one of you would have this insight. But a lone group of camels is standing on a hill is probably going to invite someone's attention and bring them over, as opposed to noticing whether or not they are tended to by someone.
Right.
Especially if they're wearing harnesses and packs and stuff like that. So with that being said, she approaches the pack of camels that appear to be untended.
Yeah, Varg would have stood up when she was about 30 feet away.
Okay.
He would have just been sitting there in the shade.
Now, Barak, are you my low charisma dude?
No, I'm
you're
charisma.
Okay, you're the good charisma.
Yeah, he's the highest charisma.
That's right. All right, so
the almost bard level charisma.
All right, so she's slightly, startled when you step out and out of nowhere. But then curtsies to you and apologizes and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I thought that these camels might be lost like my goats that I am looking for. I did not mean to intrude. I am terribly, terribly sorry." She seems somewhat fearful.
Yeah. Varg would totally just be like, "Here, no worries. These are our camels. We haven't seen any goats wandering about, have we? We were sleeping. So
Well, I much appreciate it. If you do happen to see any, if you could secure them here, I will be returning to this point in the river every 6 or 8 hours until I can find my missing goats. But I
hey,
really
you
must be.
happen. Go ahead.
She was going to say, I really must be heading on. So if you want to interrupt her.
Yeah. Varric would have asked, you happen to know what's to the south at this Y in the river by any chance?
Ding, 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 ding. Perfect question. I would not go too far that direction. There's an ancient crypt there, usually haunted by evil things. And this is really true of the one below the amphitheater that is there. Don't go there if you value your life.
We kill evil things. It'll be okay.
There is an unspoken evil there that has rested for centuries. I hope you would not underestimate it or yourself.
All right. Well, sorry to hold you up. Hope you find your goats.
Thank you, kind sir, and I wish you luck and blessings on your quest.
Yeah.
Okay. Very humble, very supplicative.
Yeah.
Definitely not looking for any trouble, but obviously a willingness to help.
To the dungeon.
To the crypt.
And so with that,
that's good advice, even wise advice. However, we're not going to take that advice. Let's go south.
All right, so day resumes, or sorry, night resumes. You guys pack up. Nothing significant.
I'd like to think that the dome pops like a soap bubble when it goes away. Just pop.
I don't see.
Sure, why not?
I don't see any reason why you can't add a little bit of thaumaturgic flair.
Exactly.
All right. So let's see. Let's take a look. All right, so we have another somewhat uneventful evening. We're down to about this point in the map, which is going to be about 2/3 of your way through the night. Let's see. Still dark, so you can't really send up the owl at this point, so you don't have quite as much visibility as you would like. It's still a clear night. Weather is rather nice, perhaps a bit cool. However, as you proceed through this area of the desert, burned bits of rubble and fused sand testify to some terrible destruction. Footprints, clawed and hoof-like, mark the sand in a straight line into the distance. Gnawed bones tossed to either side.
Well, it's a good thing that there's nothing spooky here. Let's continue.
No.
Nothing spooky. Nothing spooky at all.
I've got my ring of spell storing held up like Green Lantern.
Can I divine sense 60 feet?
I don't see why not.
I can detect, and within 60 feet, I can detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated.
Ooh, kinky.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily within 60 feet at the moment, but yeah, you would say that anywhere you see this kind of burnt sand, burnt bits of rubble, and particularly the clawed footprints, they count as desecration.
Awesome. So yeah, the goat herder lady did say something about a great eagle been sleeping for centuries down here. Just want to remind everybody of that. Does it look like celestial, fae, fiend, or undead? Anywhere around?
Fiend would probably be the best description.
Okay. All right. We keeping on.
So we are proceeding, correct?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So,
Cautiously.
So you move on until you're about at the end of your 12-hour time travel or traveling time. Sun is just coming up. You're able to send up the owl and weasel and get another view of the area. That's an interesting combo. I got to give you guys credit for that. And with that, all right, so to your southeast, you notice some craggy, low hills of broken and baked stone jutting upwards at weird angles, casting tortured shadows across themselves. Even more oppressive than the sand dunes, if that can be possible, these areas of blasted rock show centuries of scouring by countless sandstorms. Higher than the desert dunes, whatever water they conceal is evaporated at once. Only the shadows promise relief from the blazing sun. You can feel the heat coming off of these, even though you're still probably a good 2 or 3 miles out. And it's still early in the morning. You can already see the shimmering of the heat coming off of these hills. However, just to the south, maybe about 5 miles off, in the midst of the rocky, low-lying hills, a few broken pillars form a circle surrounding a terraced bowl. Toppled stone point at a statue stentured in the bowl. An aura of menace emanates from the area, ebbing and flowing like waves on a shore. At its peak, the bowl and its statue seem to be physically oppressive, raising the hackles on the neck and sending shivers down the spine. Only when the feeling passes does it seem that the broken hills, seeming like enormous craggy figures, might not crush intruders like clay between them. Intrigued, are we?
oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Feeling bold or feeling careful?
Bold.
Some of both, perhaps.
We'll have to go smite evil.
That's totally my bag.
Yeah, going and smiting this makes up for not doing the one back at the Oasis.
That's my thought. So We've seen the charred remains.
Paladin
fiendish charred-
vindication.
Yep. I mean, I'll lead the way.
Yeah. We definitely got to do something about this place and investigate it. Kaeli is reluctant to go in, but she will get closer and
How close does the river Athos get to these rooms?
Looks like it leads right up to them practically.
Oh, wonderful.
Convenient.
As we get closer, does the water in the river seem to change in any way? The color, the clarity?
No, but it does bring up an interesting question. If the water is flowing this way, where is it going? Because it does seem to end, and maybe it just hasn't caught up to where it eventually goes. But there isn't exactly a lake or a pool or something else that seems to be filling from this flow of water.
Interesting. Disturbing.
Yeah. Let's proceed forward.
Yep.
Boldly go where no one has gone in a really long time.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so it is about 5 miles out. It would take you about another 4 hours. It would be close to high noon for you to travel. Do you want to continue to press? And you'd probably be pretty exhausted too. Do you want to press forward or do you want to set camp here?
Pressing forward does not sound like the best idea.
Yeah, we want to go in fresh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't
So
be killing
I can do the dome.
All right, so you set up the dome, you spend another 8 hours there, nothing eventful happens. We will move you up. Until about when the sun sets. And bring it down to here. All right. Let's see. So
have we seen any goats?
Ghosts? No. But
Goats.
Goats? No, no goats. Not down here. Not since the woman goat herder passed you by.
Okay.
Good. Glad that you asked, though. So it's about 6:21 when you make camp, or when you pack up camp. It's going to be another few more miles. So let's see. Sorry, add that up.
I thought it was kind of obvious what the bones were that Calatarius was eating. Was he eating the goats? Super rude. I guess we should check the bones.
Well, check the goats for what?
Check the bones. For goats?
Bones, the
Oh.
bones that were next to the prince. I was assuming
Yeah.
Calatarius was eating the goats.
Well,
The Efreet was eating the goats.
all right. Well, the
I
bad
guess maybe
news
that
is
was ahead of
Oh
the,
yeah,
something.
that's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
so the bad news is that you do find bones. The good news is that they're not goat bones. They do not appear to be goat bones.
What kind of bones? What?
Okey-dokey.
Presuming that you guys are adept at being able to identify them, especially in their charred condition, which might be a bit of a stretch,
Excuse me.
but on the other hand, you have two Goliaths that like to gnaw on things. So best you can tell is that they appear to be human and equine.
Interesting.
Oh, lovely.
Well, they're either people or centaurs. Haha.
Mhm. Desert centaurs.
Yeah.
Interesting. Would they be half camel?
Maybe.
That
I don't
would
know.
be
Camel
interesting.
bones are probably similar to equine for the most part. It'd be different in size, though.
Yeah, the hoof.
Yeah, true
Yeah.
that. Although if they're charred, you wouldn't really find hoofs.
Yeah.
All right. So it
So
is shortly, well, not too short, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours before midnight when you finally come into the area and are able to get a good closer look at the amphitheater that the herder warned you of. At close range, it is possible to tell that the statue is not the towering menace that it appeared to be from the distance. Instead, it is only 10 feet tall, of one piece, with a 3-foot tall base on which it stands. Though much smaller than it once appeared, it is no less menacing. Fear flows and ebbs from its surface like the waves of the rising tide. Each new wave breaks upon the mind, sending chills up the spine, bringing a cold sweat to the brow, and releasing a rivulet of terror from the underarms. The stomach quakes, and the feet have a nearly uncontrollable desire to flee. A thing of nightmares, the statue glares from beneath a pharaoh's headdress. Robes gathered in one arm, it clenches a scepter in the other. Neither time nor weather has dared to face the almost perfectly smooth surface of the midnight blue stone. The feet of the statue pass seamlessly into the broad curve of the base, which, miraculously, is free of dust or sand. The scalloped edge of the base makes an ominous contrast to the dead white marble platform atop which the statue stands. The platform has 3 broad steps above the floor of the amphitheater. Arrayed around it are the seats of the amphitheater, 10 in all, rising to the level of the broken pillars.
all right. We're gonna go touch the statue.
Touch it, put your tongue on it.
So
or enter the amphitheater at the very least.
So I presume you guys are all entering the amphitheater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the
Yellow,
ring up.
watch for traps.
I'm doing the Green Lantern thing with the ring. I'm ready to blast something.
How is the lighting out here? Is it a clear night with a full moon, or
It's a clear night with probably a waning moon. Sorry. You can see, but it's not especially well lit.
okay? But so it would count as dim light
Yes.
for the purposes of dark vision, which some of us can see properly in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, figure about a quarter moon, half moon. So half the moon is visible. That's about how much light you're getting down.
Okay. Okay. And how big is this amphitheater again?
Statue's only 10 feet tall. You know, they don't give a specific size, but they do point out that there's 10 rows of seats. So it's
Okay.
not especially small, but it's not like the Coliseum.
Okay. So
Probably
with my
the
dark vision,
probably the equivalent of a community park soundstage.
okay. So I should be able to, with my dark vision, I should be able to see all the way across it. It's
I'd say
not
maybe
particularly well lit.
if you're standing in the center, I'd say you might have a little bit of an issue seeing the uppermost levels of the seats with your dark vision, but for the most part, yeah, you should be able to view it.
Okay. So if I were to stay at the edge at the top,
You would be able to see the
I
statue.
could. Okay. That's what I wanted to know, because I'm not sure I want to set foot in that place, but at the same time, I don't want to, you know, abandon my companions.
No, that makes sense. I can respect that.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you guys doing? Who is or is not going in?
As Varric starts to enter, I'm just gonna grip my symbol of tear and be ready to cast Shield of Faith on myself if anything fucking happens. Anything, you know what I mean? Anything, any kind of monster or fiend shows up, he's gonna cast Shield of Faith on himself.
Yeah, the wizard will go in behind the paladin. Got the ring up, ready to either shield or fireball or whatnot.
I'm coming.
I'm staying up. I'm staying up top. I'm more interested in being able to see as much as possible. And I'd rather not go in if I don't have to. I don't like the feel of this place. It feels wrong.
Oh, but it's so
And I
bright.
assume that Haig would be, so I would think marching order would be like Varric, Redrith, Haig, Feckish.
Yep.
And then Mizram somewhere in there.
I'd be covering the squishy wizard.
Yep. And then Kaylee above us.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Let's do this.
All right, so who's first?
Varric. Yep.
All right, so you're stepping into the area of the amphitheater, correct?
Yep. As he approaches, he's preparing to cast Shield of Faith, but I'm going to use my divine sense and just get a feel for the area.
Because we are going into a place that absolutely, you know, is feeling a whole bunch of evil. Redrith casts mage armor as he's walking down towards it.
Good idea.
So
Memorized
that is
memorized or from the ring?
I don't have it in the ring. This is
shield in the ring. Sorry.
Yeah, this is just an action. I'm burning a spell slot for it.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. All right. So as Varric enters the area of the amphitheater, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw at -2. Ooh.
I don't like that sound you made.
Just as a side note, I cast that mage armor, and why does it have the number 8 at the end in the chat?
Because you didn't have anybody targeted. Because you can actually cast mage armor on someone else as well.
Oh.
So you have to specify a target.
What does the 8 mean?
That's what I was curious
Duration
about.
8 hours.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. Well, I thought it was automatically self-targeted.
Nope.
So, all right.
Only if it press a certain key.
Yeah, just to let you know, character track, it does say you have got mage armor on yourself.
Oh, okay. It already shows that I do have it on. I must have forgotten to take it off previously. So, all right.
Yeah, you might want to check the duration because duration listed in the combat tracker for the existing one because
I'll just remove it and reapply.
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, I have to admit that's one I have definitely not micromanaged.
There we are.
There we go. Much better.
Cool.
That looks correctly applied.
Very good. All right.
All right, but going back to Varric's saving throw, I'm a little confused what's being
Yeah.
So it looks like you rolled a 2. It added a 3. It says it was rolled at -2, but it says that it gave you a 5 anyway. So either way, you did fail your saving throw. And sorry, Varric, you're scared shitless. You are now under the effects of a fear spell. You must dash and move away. Sorry, cat crawled into my drawer, my snack drawer. Like, excuse you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so to be fair, I don't go anywhere without my brother. I would have followed him in there, so I'll have to roll a wisdom save.
All right, so I guess we shall roll for you.
I was behind both of them, but I would probably pause when I see their reactions.
Well, let's see how the other one does. Oh, yeah, they're both hightailing it out of there.
All right then.
So yeah, both the Goliaths are like, fuck this, we're out of here.
Fair enough.
And Elohir just kind of raises an eyebrow at them and thinks to herself, yep, I knew going in there was a bad idea.
Well, I'm presuming you have not stepped into the area yet.
Yeah. Might as well be stupid. Gonna...
Oh, wow.
Everybody's just flailing all over the place.
Yeah, wow.
If they run away, the wizard is not going in by himself. So I'm just saying that I'll pause and step back a bit and see what's what before we proceed.
So both of the Goliaths and the cleric have decided, yeah, we're running the other direction. Per the description.
Yeah, they're noping out of there.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, I look at the Goliath and cleric running away, and me with my little weasel chest, stand up on my 2 back legs, puff out my chest, look at you all, and then boot my little arm pull motion towards the entrance, and then I walk in.
Okay. So go ahead, do your wisdom check. This is going to be great if he gets it.
You said
right, ballsy ass weasel.
You said wisdom saving throw.
Now I'm thinking of Buck. I don't know what's with all of these Ice Age movies. I'm crashing Eddie, and now I'm thinking Buck. Buck actually was a weasel. That's right.
Yeah.
Did it roll properly, or did it?
I didn't see anything come through the screen.
I didn't see anything. Yeah.
Okay, let me.
There we go. And Mizram proudly walks into the amphitheater, unaffected by the uncontrollable need to dash and move away by the safest available route.
It's because he's so small.
So
Yeah.
he made his check.
He made his check
Mhm.
boldly. He got a 24. Excuse me, 22. Everyone else
What's
got
the command? The
digits. He
command.
got a 22.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a percentage die. If it's higher than 50%, I am gonna follow him in.
Inspired by the druid. Epic.
Brave little weasel.
I'm following him in.
Okay, make your roll.
This is gonna wrap. Okay, so this was a wisdom
Save
save.
at -2.
Okay. -2. Wisdom save.
Nope.
I'm
Well-
noping out of there too.
And I blew it. I did a check instead of a save. I rolled wrong.
Oh,
So let's try doing this with the wisdom save instead.
But would it have mattered? What was your actual roll?
Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered.
5,
yeah.
So, and what's your plus
Yeah,
for
I wouldn't
wisdom?
have made it.
7.
Okay, you're a +7.
Yeah, +7.
Okay, that would have brought you to 12. Would it have made a matter?
With the disadvantage of 2, it brought me down to 10. So
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, I see how that works now. God, they keep changing the visual indicators on the die rolls, and you have to reinterpret them every time you play. All right. So yeah, I would say that the roll didn't matter. If you still were low enough that you would have been heading the other direction. So at this point, other than Alex, who hasn't done a roll yet, Mizram is the only one who's been able to brave his way into the amphitheater.
Well, I'm not intending to go in. I just want to stand at the edge where I can see as much as I can.
Okay, well, from that point, you don't get much more than the description that I've already given you, especially with dark vision at night.
Yeah, I'm mostly just trying to keep an eye on my friends, or on the
So you know
weasel
which
who
way they're running to.
went in.
yeah,
Yes.
Guys, we're supposed to stay together.
Well, the question is, do we need to like roll a d4 to decide which compass direction we actually took off to?
No, and
Or I suppose it was
So-
directly away.
You're
So I
not being
suppose-
completely controlled. You are just being fearful. So whichever seems like the best and fastest route to you without too much thought is more than acceptable.
My aura of protection gives everyone a +2 on saving throws. So whoever was within 10 feet, I know it doesn't matter for Haig or Varric, but if 12 would have made the difference on Fekish's check, he may have passed if he was within 10 feet of me.
No,
point.
I don't think so, because he only would have had a 7 anyway. It was higher than
No,
the 4 and the 5 that the brothers rolled, but still
Yes.
a 9 would not have been enough.
No, he said Sekish, what's your wisdom
+7
check?
for wisdom save.
But he
Or
only rolled,
yeah,
he only rolled a
+7 for
5.
wisdom save.
Right,
Yeah,
but he's a +7,
so 5.
so that would have put him at 12 total.
Okay, I'm still confused by the damn die rolls, but based on what I'm seeing, I'll agree. All right, so Fekish, you are not feeling the urge to run away at top speed.
Oh, goody. Okay. So I will keep an eye on the weasel.
So it's the Fekish and Mizram show.
Yep.
And Alex watching from the edge.
Yep.
You just see me do my little weasel war dance, and I'm just hopping around in there going, yeah, look at me.
Well, at least for the moment.
Running around like one of the ferrets in Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Those things were cool.
Hell yeah.
Think they were better trained than Mark Singer was.
Probably. Definitely better actors.
Yes.
Poor Mark. He tried.
All right, so we have running Goliaths, we have a bold weasel, we have a cautious ranger, and a watchful cleric.
And a fleeing mage.
And a fleeing mage. That's right, you failed it too. So presumably you are staying close behind the two Goliaths.
Following them is seems like the safest place to be. So I absolutely will be running right behind them.
Yep. All right, so let's see. Okay, so the next bit of this should be kind of interesting. I think this could prove to be fun. All right, so we have the two Goliaths, Redreth, just the three of you running, right?
Correct.
Yep.
All right, so for the three of you, basically what we're going to do is see how long you are running before you're like, okay, I'm far enough away. So the good news is that as soon as you get out of the amphitheater, because of the shape of the bowl, you won't have line of sight to the statue anymore, and so you'll be able to start making another save after each turn. Now, what is your top movement speed right now, I guess, when running? So the 120 feet?
Mine is 60. If I move and dash, it's 60.
Okay, so each of you need to make another wisdom save at -2. For each one that you fail, you are ending up 60 feet further away from the amphitheater.
Just do straight rolls if you're within 10 feet of Eric, because you get my charisma modifier added to your roll.
Okay, so Redreth is able to succeed after the first 60 feet. I'll go ahead and you're doing all right.
Damn it.
You're going another at least 60 feet. You're going to stop at 120?
Yep. Roll another save.
Yep. Let's see. Who knows? You might end up a mile out. Yeah, 120 feet out. Roll again.
Oh my God.
We're doing it again. Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, now for Haig.
20 feet out.
Now roll for Haig.
Yep. All right, let's see, where's Haig? There he is.
And it's a straight roll for him.
Yep. Well, the first one. Unless he stays.
Right. Oh, that's true. That's true.
And he makes it after 60 feet. Okay, so Redreth and Haig stop after 60 feet. Even though Varric is the one inspiring them, he runs another 120 feet past them. Epic.
I feel like Varric's reacting like Cheech when he took the acid. I've never seen no shit like that before in my life, man. And he's just running.
Oh, and you haven't even begun yet.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie, but all I heard while they run in was I ain't training no ghost.
Bustin' makes me feel good. All right, so Ms., while the rest of your companions look like the Marx Brothers bouncing off of each other, what are you doing while investigating the amphitheater and presumably the ominous statue at its center?
I'm just basically checking out, making sure it's safe and seeing where we need to go in here. Do you need me to roll?
I would say an investigation check is probably called for.
Not not my forte, so I'll just roll a straight intelligent thing and just drop it in town for you. There you go.
Good Lord. Feel pretty good. All right. All right. So this actually required quite a bit of good observation on the part of the druid here. Because as I pointed out, surprisingly, there is no dust or sand around the edges of the pedestal upon which the statue stands. But looking around the edges closely, it does appear that ever so slightly, the statue has not been returned to its original central position. On one tiny side of the pillar, or the pedestal, I should say, there is a tiny gap between the floor and the pedestal itself, where Mizram is able to feel a small wisp of cool air coming out from underneath it.
Interesting.
See, it does pay to be tiny. I basically do my little Weasel War dance around the statue to indicate there's something here, jumping down, making loads of noisy, chittering away.
Well, basically, Fekish and Alex and Kaylee are the only ones that notice you doing the dance off.
Isn't cute.
Okay, I'm going to take another 5-minute break, guys. Feel free to do so as well, or go ahead and chat about what you want to do next.
The other question is, we fled for 120 feet or 60 feet or whatever. Would we return after that, or is the fear enough to keep us away, or would we at least come back up to where Kaylee is to see what's going on?
As soon as you see the statue again, you are going to be back under the effect of the fear, and we'll have to re-roll again to determine how far away you run. So long as you stay out of view of the statue, you will be fine, and just basically sitting there with your hands on your knees, catching your breath, like, oh shit, oh shit.
I feel like Redreth would not have the wisdom to keep out of sight of the thing. He's intelligence, he's not wisdom. So
Vark would.
Yeah, but that's a low bar. Once you've been affected by it, that's a low bar wisdom.
Okay, yeah, I feel like
you'd have to be pretty unwise to say, I'm going to go back in there.
Well, but he come up. I mean, Kaylee's not actually in there, and so he would. I don't know. I would think he would at least come up to try to go to where Kaylee is, which would probably cause him to have to re-roll the fear thing. Just because.
Think of it this way, and then if you're an arachnophobe, this will probably be very relevant. But say you walk into a old building, a shack, and as you walk in, you at the same time get hit by a spider web and feel a couple of spiders drop on you, and you go running out and you brush it all off as quickly as you can, and you're feeling pretty confident that you got the spider and the web off you. How quickly are you going to go back into that shack?
I'll fireball it first.
That's absolutely reasonable, but that's the sensation that you're feeling.
Guys, I do actually have to go. I was trying to push it as long as I can, but I'm cutting it close now. So
much appreciated, Matt. All right, so
good session, guys.
Right up. Good luck, dude.
Take care.
Just 1 second, quick. So with Haig out, also, do we want to continue, or Dan, are you going to be back shortly? It looks like Dan's disconnected, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So what does the rest of the group want to do? We want to continue playing for about another 45 minutes?
We can continue or not.
I think we can get by for
matter a
45
whole
minutes. I
lot.
don't think anything important is going to
Yeah.
happen.
I think if
right.
if a battle kicks off, we probably will want to pause at that point. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah, keep it.
Awesome.
All right, so Matt, we'll catch you in 2 weeks. I'm going to take a 5-minute
Hell yeah.
break,
Good
guys. And you
session,
guys, yep, thanks for joining. Glad you could and have fun.
See ya.
Okay.
All right, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. You guys figure out what you want to do next in order to either identify the next step or figure out how you're going to get the other 3 into the amphitheater.
okay.
I'll be back.
No, what do you lovely people want to do?
Well, at the moment, I'm shoving food on my face, but Calla being the more investigative than the rest of us, if we can get her into the mix without
I was going to say
running for
she'd
her
have to
life.
make the wisdom save to approach it, though.
Right.
So it's up to
And
whoever's
she
since
goes,
and the wizard is
she's-
over the hill, not looking. So you guys decide among yourselves.
Right.
yeah, and Kaoli is quite clearly not interested in going in. It just feels off, icky, unpleasant, and she does not want to risk going in.
Well, certainly not without the Goliath.
Yeah, she's kind of afraid of an ambush, like evil things
yeah,
are going to
and-
ambush us.
The ambush was a given. So we kind of
Yeah.
walked in, or at least avoided it,
Yeah.
knowing that it was going to
But
be there.
just because we're but just because we're expecting it doesn't mean that we shouldn't take precautions. So that's what she's doing.
I can do a perception and
trying
insight
to-
check, but that's about as far
trying
as I'm
to
going
stay
to
she's trying to stay as kind of as backup for whatever might happen.
Well, when Keith comes back, I'll do perception and insight and see if I can glean anything from where we're at.
Okay.
At that point, anything that we do, unless we set anything off, it would be up to you or me or Mizra, barring for the Goliaths to come back. At which point, if they make their successive rolls, then that might bolster for you to get involved once we have a little more backup.
Possibly, but Kaoli had no intention of going down there in the first place. She just wanted to be close enough that she could support you guys going in.
Well, I can definitely forward scout. I mean, no one expects a weasel, so who's gonna ambush a weasel? I'm like a little thing. Unless they're very hungry and they haven't had any food for quite some time, they're gonna go, oh, dinner. Very short dinner.
There
but still
were
dinner.
bones scattered all over the place, though.
True.
Yep.
Not on bones. Well, there's something underneath because we know that there's a passage of air or passing of air
Mm-hmm.
on the weasel dance. So if we can't open it with finesse, I'm sure that the Goliaths, once they return, will be able to do so by brute force.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm sure they won't have any problems, with doing that.
Oh.
Now, Kaoli knows that you guys have found something. She doesn't know what you found. Unless you were shouting it at her.
Well, I think we've lost the element of surprise by that much. So,
Well, yeah.
What do you mean? All the screaming of the wizard and the two others as they ran away wouldn't have.
Right.
That wouldn't be that noisy, would it?
Nah, not that noisy at all.
Well, I can't imagine the Goliaths being stealthy and even in the best of circumstances.
Yeah, they're not really.
No. So at the moment, we're kind of in an impasse until Keith gets back.
Well, while that is happening, I'm just going to quickly go turn central eating on, so I should be no more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I'm going to go the bio break. I will be back shortly.
Cool.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I normally have the women in the house telling me stick central eating on, but I just went downstairs and go, be quiet down here. Like, I'm thinking, oh, it would gone off out and it told me.
Okay, I am back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
I guess we got about another 40 minutes that we can play before end the session.
Yep.
Let's see who's ready to go.
For those of us that are in attendance to do so.
All right, so Varric left.
Haig hasn't reconnected yet.
All right, so that's the two of them. Okay, so then we got everyone. Okay, cool. All right, so what have you guys decided to do at this point?
I don't think we really decided much.
Well,
I
that
can
was
do
very productive.
perception. It was. I can either do perception or insight to see what I can glean about the, what was it, the statue or whatever that the weasel is dancing around.
Look what I found. Look what I found. I wish I could do Buck's accents. It just would be so appropriate right now.
So which would you prefer?
I
The
mean,
other
technically, if it's a religious statue, you might know what it is religiously.
Yeah, I do have a religion check. Let's try that one.
Well, that can't hurt. Let's face it, you're not going to suffer any ill consequences from failing it.
And probably not going to do much with that.
Nope.
So,
Wow, my Weasel dance is so good that you can't keep your eyes off me by the looks of it.
yeah, I'm blinded by your furriness. Let's do insight. Anything insightful?
Well, it's heavy.
Excellent. We're getting somewhere. It's heavy. It's not made of wood. Perception. Do I perceive anything?
Between your investigation, your insight, and your perception, you determine that this statue probably could be moved, but not by you alone.
Yeah, that's what I figured much. So I don't see or would be able to detect any levers, mechanisms, anything like that. I know I'm
Nope.
thinking like a rogue. I shouldn't do that.
Is there a small enough gap or crack for something tiny to slip through?
Enough for a small breeze of air, but not much else. We're talking about maybe a housefly in width.
Just for comic relief, you just see the little weasel where he paws on the statue, just running in one spot like he's trying to move something.
There's no drag or scrape marks indicating direction of movement on said
Nope.
statue or pedestal. No.
I will.
Okay.
I will reiterate that the dead white marble platform and the blue statue have no marks of wear, tear, decay, or other abrasions, despite everything
Pristine.
else around it being decayed and wind blown.
Looking about me, is there anything else off or noteworthy within the area, surrounding area?
No, it would look like your average runes if it wasn't for that statue. That statue definitely is out of place here.
Okay. Other than that, the rest of the amphitheater is pretty much void of anything.
Yep.
Okay, then. So
It would
we
not
wait.
be. It would not be unlike freshly manufacturing a very ornate blue marble statue, and brand new, freshly polished, depositing it in the middle of the Roman Colosseum.
What's the rest? What's the rest of the amphitheater constructed out of? Obviously not blue marble.
Limestone, I believe.
Limestone. Okay.
Let me see. Does it say specifically? No, it's going to be limestone or sandstone.
Yeah, that would be my guess. So we wait for the Goliath, unless I want to try to move this thing, me and the weasel.
Let's see. Let me double check and see if you are able to have it.
I mean, I do have
Are
a
you gonna,
17
are you going to
strength.
try to move it and get at least get an impression of the weight?
Yeah, I mean, I have a 17 strength. I'm not a Phoebe.
No, this is true. That actually might be.
Can I help encourage him, being he can see me trying to push it and I'm way smaller than him? Does that inspire him to sort
There's
of
a
like
picture.
help move it? Yeah.
A dragonborn standing over a blue marble statue with a weasel between my legs, pushing off the
So-
statue. This is comic. I love this.
According to your stat sheet, you have a lift, push, drag maximum of 510 pounds. That is not enough to move the statue.
But I've got the weasel with me.
Okay, so what does that do? 10 pounds? And we're being generous there?
Very generous. Probably more like a half pound at best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think the weasel weighs more than a pound.
Well, you
maybe.
certainly don't weigh 510 pounds.
No, I don't. Just for shits and giggles, I'll try to move it anyway. Got nothing better to do at the moment. 15 plus 3, 18.
It really doesn't budge. And I wouldn't say a little more, but you don't think that you need a lot more to get it to move.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So we're in a holding pattern until one of the Goliaths shows up.
Well, anyone have
Or
any insight
something
on how
comes
to
out.
handle them?
Hold their
In
hand and
particular,
walk them
maybe
into
some way to negate the effect?
hold their hand and walk them into the amphitheater going, it's okay.
The wizard is not chiming in here because the wizard is also under the same effect and sitting over the hill.
Okay, that's reasonable.
I'll
So
bribe
then I
them,
guess at
bind
the
their
moment,
legs.
then it is up to the ranger, druid, and cleric to come up with a option.
Apply them
I
to
got
slap.
nothing. I'm just here to provide backup support in case of an attack.
Moral support.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Where's he?
I guess that you could actually put it that we actually need moral support in order to come back over the hill.
You kind of do.
I am gonna run up to one of Glyph's brothers, run up one of their legs, and then grab hold of their chin, and then slap them around the face with my little paw.
You're down in the center of the amphitheater. They are over the crest of the hill, of the nearby hill. You can't see them.
Wow, they really ran.
Miz.
Yeah.
You also turn into human form or elvish form, and we can probably move this thing between the two of us. If we that, or we wait on the glass to come out of their stupor.
I will turn into my elven form. I'm quite well built for an elf.
How long does the fear spell last before it wears off?
That's a good question. And something you probably would know as a wizard. And it looks like this spell would only last for a minute once you are out of the area of effect. However, it is a permanent fear spell, so you would be subject to having to make that save every time you enter the area.
Enter the area or come over the crest of the hill to go where Kaoli is?
To be in sight of the statue. If you see the statue, you're going to have to make another save.
Okay. Well, after it wears off, I will come back over the hill and make the same save.
Okay.
Just to see if I can avoid the re-engagement. And I am not near.
The initial effect depends on a range, but once it's affected you, a line of sight is all that's necessary.
Correct. And because the paladin ran so much farther, I get the -2 on my wisdom save because I'm not near him anymore. So
correct.
I will re-roll. And I take off running again.
I'm out of here.
Well, what?
And I'm probably gonna have to. And at this point, I'm probably gonna have to change my trousers too.
Hope you brought
probably.
All right, let's see how Haig and Varric do. We'll do Haig first since he's actually closer still.
While that happening, I basically drop my weasel form, and then I look at Fecus, go, well, if you want to get stuff done, you gotta be an elf by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Move this. And I will give Fecus a helping hand, so obviously you get to roll with advantage.
Well, it looks like
It looks like Haig will step up to help too, it looks like.
Not
Varric. Oh, and I suppose I need to keep rolling to see how far I run too, don't I?
Yes.
Is it -2 for? It's -2 for all of them, right?
Yes. Unless we
Okay.
spend some time actually worrying about whether or not you're close enough to Varric at the time that you're passing.
I'm 120 feet out. Let's see if I keep going.
He ran all the way back
I'm
to the oasis.
180. I'm 180 feet out. Let's see if I keep going. Does 12 pass, or am I still running?
12 is right on the line.
You
So,
tripped.
yeah, you stop at what, 240?
180 feet. 180
okay.
feet. Yeah. Now the question is, does something happen to me while I'm way out there? That's for the DM to decide.
Out of breath, maybe?
Okay, I'm not sure if there's other dangers when I'm 180 feet out from the rest of the group.
Yeah, at this point, you haven't drawn any other attention, fortunately. Keep in
Okay.
mind,
Whatever-
most
whatever is
everything
out
else
there
is as scared of the area too.
Whatever else is out there is just amused at watching you run back and forth across the landscape.
I can see that.
Well, I'm just laughing at probably some buzzard just there going, you're gonna die eventually if you keep running back and forward. We'll get dinner tonight, guys.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's see. Mizram, where are you at? There's your character sheet. And let's see, according to this.
Well, between Haig and I, we should be able to move it too, right?
Yeah, you should be able to, but let's see. So
Although our dice rolls have not been all that
you
favorable.
did return to human form, correct? Humanoid form?
Yes, I am in elven
form, excuse me.
help,
My apologies for the offense. Unintended. All right, so let's see. You can lift, push, and drag 390 pounds. Between the two of you, you are able to start moving the statue when Haig steps up and basically makes it a lot easier.
Well, all right then.
And as you do so, you realize, actually, yeah, go ahead, all three of you make a dexterity check, please.
Excellent.
I got Haig.
Save or
Is
check?
that a check or save?
This is a dexterity check.
Ugh.
Well, did the roll go through earlier? Oh,
Wait a minute. Well, we both got the same roll. I accidentally rolled Mizram's instead of Haig, so let me redo that.
no, it's okay.
Miz made his. Oh,
I feel
and
like
Haig did just fine, just fine. Feckish, on the other hand. So, as you push the stone out of the way, it reveals the entrance to a shaft.
Awesome.
10-foot diameter shaft.
Free falling.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
If you are falling, I will turn and shout to you. Make sure you land on both or four paws.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Well, if I have a reactionary action, I would try something to save myself. But other than that, hopefully, Dragonborns bounce well.
All right, so you're falling into the shaft. Your dexterity check failure precludes the chance of a reaction. That basically was your
Yeah.
reaction. However, Mizram and Haig are close enough for them to potentially react and catch you. Miz, you stand the risk of being pulled in if you do catch him. Haig probably can hold him if he catches him. Miz, are you going to try to catch Fekish before he falls into the
I stand no chance. I don't think I've got the strength to hold him, even if I wanted to.
Okay. So that means it's pretty much going to be up to Haig.
Oh, hold on.
Was that hold on? I guess so. Yep, he had to go to mute. I will wait for him to come back in case he has any idea on how to improve Haig's roll.
Sorry, my wife was exiting and raiding my wallet.
No problem. Know that feeling.
I love you. Give me money. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna have Haig roll a dex check.
Go ahead, go.
Ooh, complete miss.
Goes
Goes reach out for you and just misses altogether. So
just a bit outside.
Fekish is now falling into the darkness of a shaft.
Whee!
Do you shout?
Probably something along the lines of, oh shit.
Okay.
Or just wait to hit bottom or try to grab anything on the way down.
Okay. So let's see. What is it that you will hear? All right. How do I conduct this with Fekish without giving away any other information to those up top?
Breakout room?
You can breakout rooms, or you can send him a direct message in Discord.
Yeah, that probably.
But yeah, a Zoom breakout room is a great way to do that too.
All right, let me see if I can make that happen without disconnecting everything, and I'm not sure how that's going to affect the recording. Hopefully we will get only the
I think the recording follows you.
All right, so let's see.
Based on all the civil hijinks, I wonder why the Ranger puts up with any of us.
All right, I'm gonna have to. All right, I'm creating a room for you, Albie. I should be able to join you in a moment. If you don't hear from me in a minute or so, come on back to the original room.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, excuse me.
All right, look at that. Cool. All
Hey.
right, that worked out nicely. All right.
Hopefully the recording just didn't catch my big old belch.
All right, so you're falling down a shaft. The shaft, not that you would be sitting there with a measuring tape and knowing what's going on, but player to DM to player is about 90 feet. At 90 feet, you pass a ledge. You have a chance to grab that ledge at a -4 on your dexterity check. If not,
shit.
you will continue falling.
Oh shit. Okay. So dice don't fail me now. So dexterity check or save?
A dexterity check.
Yeah. Neither of which would be really great, but oh, and at -4?
Yep.
Oh shit. 4. Oh, it says +4. I don't want +4.
No,
I want.
next to your dice are those little things with ADV, DIS +2, -2. So just hit the -2 twice and you should see your modifier go to -2 and -4.
Unlock. There we go. It's not letting me do that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'll just go ahead and do the dexterity check. I'll manually subtract 4.
Hold on. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it won't let me do that. Okay, so we'll just do dexterity. And does it matter if I roll it in the tower or not?
At this point, no, you'll know if you miss.
14. -4 should be 10.
And you don't have what is your dexterity normally?
11.
Okay, so you
I
would
have
have
no
the bonus
modifiers on my
tennis.
dex.
All right, and let me double check what this says.
Splat. I do have athletics. Strength +6.
Literally right on the edge. All right, you still take 3 points of damage from the overall 90-foot fall.
That's all right.
You are hanging on the ledge, the edge of another circular ledge. I'll share a map when I can. Well, actually, no, I can share it with just you and not everyone else. So hold on. All right, where is Albie, where are you, Albie? There you are. You went hiding behind the map. All right, so portrait, your icon. Oh, yeah, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? No. Map sphere of power. Are you seeing a map sheet at all?
No. But in the grand scheme of things, at this point, I mean, I'm what, 40 feet down?
90 feet down.
90 feet?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an estimation as far as how much farther it goes down yet. So they could probably still hear me.
There was a way to share just the one sheet, but I seem to be running into an issue with that.
Nah, that's fine. I mean, at this point,
I know why. Hold on. I'm doing it to the wrong spot. This should work. There you are. There you go.
Aha. All right then.
You're seeing much more than you should. So please.
That's okay.
Anything? Why is that way? Let's see. I'm glad I shared it with just one at the moment.
Yeah. So my immediate response would be to pull myself up to safety, strike a torch. So I'm assuming I would see just the circular area around the rest of the shaft.
Oh, hold on. I almost got it. It blacked out on you, right?
Yep. Not dead yet. Think I'll go for the walk.
Okay, interesting. It's showing in here, but it's not showing in there.
That's okay. I mean, at this point, we got like another 10 minutes or so. Get everybody else involved and back into
Well, let me see if I can
swing of
just get
things,
this
and
to
we can
show up quick
pick it up.
because it'll make a big difference as to whether or not they can see it. So let's see. So enable player. Oh, for crying out loud. Why is this so annoying to work?
Because you want it to work. It's like Xerox machines. The more you need them, the less they work.
All right. Well, you're hanging on to the edge. You took 3 points of damage, so you're still awake. The question is what you're going to basically shout back up to them. So we're going to go back up into the other room, and we will continue.
Well, either way, I'm going to pull myself up on the ledge, so I'm not hanging.
Okay, probably a good idea.
And strike a torch. At which point, then I can yell up at them and see if they can understand me or hear me.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to close all rooms. Hopefully, we should put back into the main room. See you there. If not, just rejoin.
Yep. Count out.
Okay, we're back.
Welcome back.
Very
Alex?
good. The wizard is still running.
Alex, I'm having problems with the lighting visibility. It showed the whole map to him, even though I have the walls defined. And it looks like it's
did you okay, open the map panel.
the map panel.
The edit. Open the edit map. So unlock it.
Yeah, it is unlocked.
Okay. On the line in the layers list, the line that has your line of sight on it. There's a column for the line of sight. It looks like a section of brick wall. Is that darkened or is that blank?
Oh, wait a minute. I see why. Hold on.
I only remember the important parts of the map anyway.
Not only do you have to define the line of sight, you actually have to turn it on.
Okay, so all right, so the crypt is visible to all, visible to GM only. The walls are visible to GM only, visible to all. Use walls is turned on. Okay, so I see the preview kind of looks right in my screen, but on the shared screen, it's still all black.
Because the shared screen does not have a token on the map.
Yes, it does. It has his token and then there's the shared one.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you guys that were watching the Zoom image, you probably would have seen the. Oh no, that's right. We're over. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see the whole map show up on the screen, but I ignored it because it wasn't relevant to us.
Thank you. So yeah, I turned it off for the time being.
Okay, so
And for the record, I'm running on my phone. I don't see what the shared screen is anyways, because
Okay.
I've got
so-
my
Well,
speaking button. on.
I can trust those who've seen it not to give away non-player knowledge, so I'm not too concerned about it, but I
Yeah.
want to try to get it to show up correctly. All right, so I have the walls. Walls are enabled.
Okay, there's another place that you have to enable line of sight, I think.
Okay, I've got enabled line of sight is enabled. Lighting is disabled.
Okay. On the shared screen, select the token for the character that the shared screen has.
What about it?
The token for that character that the shared screen has,
Mhm.
put it in the combat tracker and then drag it to the map.
Oh, that's probably what I forgot. I dragged it from the wrong spot.
Yep.
Dot, 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 dot.
Yep. So the shared screen will see black, but Fekish's screen should show the line of sight that Fekish can see.
It's got to come from the combat tracker, though. All right, so let's see. The heck? How is it showing up for you, Albie?
I see, looks like my token and everything's still black.
On your screen?
Yeah.
Select
If
your
lighting's
token.
on, does he need a light?
He said lighting's off.
Oh, okay.
Is lighting off? So in the when
Do
you
the
unlock
walls
the
have to
map,
be on the
there's-
same? Do the wall settings have to be on the same layer as the map?
No.
Okay, because I
They
did create a
shouldn't.
separate layer for that.
Yeah, it can cause issues when they're not, especially when you have multiple layers that have line of sight in them. That can get a little funky, but
Oh, that might be
so
it.
the layer that has the line of sight needs to be visible to all. The layer that has the actual map image needs to be visible to all.
There we go.
and
Well, see, again, it's showing the whole thing.
Okay. The layer that has the map image needs to be visible to all. The layer
But
that has
if I do that, it shows the whole map.
Okay. Is there on that line? Is there a use line of sight wall symbol?
No, and it won't let me turn it on because I don't have any walls on it.
Okay. On the other layer for the that you used for the line of sight, is that above or below the map image?
It's above it.
Okay. And does that one have the line of sight wall on?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay, and that is set to visible to all?
Visible to all now. Okay, so let me try this. There we go. I think no. Okay, it's partially working.
Drag Fekish back onto the map. First, delete Fekish's token from the map.
Okay.
Are they both set to visible to all now?
Yes.
Okay. Put Fekish's token back on the map. Where he was before, or where you want him.
There we go. Is that what you're seeing, Albie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in time for the session to end.
Yeah, figures. All right. Well, just to close off, so you know what happens or what you're aware of. So Fekish falls through the shaft. Obviously you can't see any of this yet, but you hear him bounce and bump a few times, and then out. Fekish, after what we discussed happens, are you going to shout or say anything?
Can you hear me? We light a torch. If you guys can see the light of the torch, drop a rope. Anything? I don't know if they can hear me or not.
They are able to hear you because of the acoustics of the shaft.
Okay, then. So it's up to you guys to secure a rope and come down and join me. Fun down here. We have cookies. I'm guessing I'm roughly about 90 feet down from the top, give or take.
And so that's where you guys are at, and where we will pick up in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
All right.
Shortly after dusk at this point. Oh no, actually, no, it's almost midnight at this point. That's right. It was another 4 hours after dusk before you got to the amphitheater. And you've probably been sticking around for about 20 minutes, running around, trying not to be scared. Well, we'll see what happens.
Running marathons. All right. Well, I have a big ass spider to go paint. So thanks guys for the gig, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, thank you for the game all, and hope you have a good 2 weeks, and all take care of yourselves.
Sounds good.
Sounds like a
Hopefully
plan.
within 2 weeks the wizard will be done running.
Hopefully.
Hopefully well before then, otherwise it's going to be a hell of a search party.
That's right.
All right.
See you guys
All
later.
right, folks, take care.
Take care. Just to let you know, Keith, I